Hello, everyone. It's Dirk again. Yeah, best laid plans. So, my original plan and intent was that every single day of this whole orientation with Schneider, that I would be doing a quick video at the end of the day, kind of talking about what went on and how everything went and how they do stuff. But yeah, best laid plans. This last week went by in such a blur. Um, I mean, truthfully, by the time we were done with training and by the time we were done with the yard and all that, and by the time I got back to my hotel room, the last thing in the world I wanted to do was do a video. It just wipes you out. And especially since I'm still getting used to being an early bird. They start at 6:30 in the morning. So that means for an old fart like me, I like to take I need to have some time to have some coffee and get myself running and coherent. And yeah, so my alarm's going off at 4 in the morning. So I get up at 4, putter around, have my coffee, get stuff ready, get my log set up for the day and all of that good stuff. And then I leave the hotel by 6. I drive myself. I have my own car, so I drive myself over to the terminal and there by 6:30, ready to go. So yeah, I just thought, well, today is Sunday. I'm on my very first 34-hour reset as a truck driver, which is kind of interesting. So all of the YouTube truckers that I have followed and watched so many hundreds and hundreds of videos. And of course, you always see these drivers saying, hey, I'm on a 34 and all of this good stuff. Well, here I am. This is my first 34-hour restart. Reset. Yeah, I guess most of the industry calls it a 34-hour reset. Schneider calls it a restart. Okay, semantics. But I'll go with what they want. So anyway, for those unfamiliar, that has to do with your hours of service. As soon as you are a commercial driver employed and working as a commercial driver for the rest of your life, so long as you work and are employed as a commercial driver, you have to submit a daily log that essentially goes to the DOT and documents every single hour of a 24-hour period what you are doing, whether you are off duty, whether you are on duty and not driving, whether you are on duty and driving, whether you're in your sleeper berth, all of these little details of exactly what you are doing every single minute of every single day has to be documented. To make sure that you as a driver are complying with the laws of hours of service. Actually, it's a very, very good thing. It basically eliminates the chance of drivers driving way too many hours and driving fatigued and killing people as a result. And it also, since there are electronic logs now, and they are required by the government, the good thing that electronic logs have brought into the picture is that companies can no longer pressure their drivers to run longer than their clock as they once did. Now it's strictly a matter of, hey, I'm out of hours and I have to shut down, period. And they cannot push on that. So it's a good thing. Anyway, getting off topic. Little recap of how the week went. Like I said, it was a bit of a blur. It started on Tuesday. Very first day was with one of a lady from HR. I'm assuming she was from HR. Very nice. Everybody there is nice. I mean, they're just really super good people. And we were in that whole getting paperwork done and making sure people that needed physicals got physicals. Getting the drug tests, the P test and the hair follicle test, doing all sorts of paperwork, onboarding stuff, going over policies, procedures, all of that stuff. So that first day, Tuesday, that was a long one. That was about a 9.5-hour day, just nonstop. And then the following day on Wednesday, again, it's very, very fast paced. I do have to hand it to Schneider. They've got themselves organized like a precision machine. Everything has a purpose. Everything has a schedule. Everything has a plan, and it's all for a purpose. There's not a lot of just sitting around wondering what the heck to do. They really are quite serious about what they're doing. So, as a word of caution, anybody that's looking to come to Schneider as a new driver, if you are an inexperienced new driver, don't think that you're going to come here and sit around and twiddle a pencil and daydream and just do whatever you want to do. This is a very, very fast-paced program. And if you don't keep up, you will be left behind. And they're not shy about it. So you slack off, they'll send you home. You make a mistake, they'll give you, a correction. And again, they're very nice. They're very pleasant. They're very professional. But they make it abundantly clear. If you have to be told more than once, chances are you will go home. They have no tolerance, no time for lack of professionalism, and no time for people that are wasting their time. And I don't blame them. So for me, as a veteran, it's by no means anywhere near the same intensity, but it reminds me of many moons ago when dinosaurs roamed the earth. When I enlisted in the Navy and went through Navy basic training. There are a lot of similarities. There's a lot of hurry up and wait. There's a lot of just the whole process of molding somebody from coming in the door with no experience, knowing basically nothing, and getting them set up to come out the other end after 3 weeks of being a professional truck driver. There's a lot to it. It's not just sitting there holding a steering wheel and driving a truck. Sure, driving and operating the truck is certainly the most obvious part of it, but what non-drivers don't realize is that that's a very, very small part of the job. There is a much larger picture in terms of making sure that equipment is safe, making sure that all of the incredible amounts of mechanical and technological stuff in those vehicles is functioning properly, to check it all, to document it all. Just there's ways of doing every single little thing, whether it be dropping off a trailer or hooking up to a trailer, backing the vehicle up. That is a whole subject unto itself. And actually, that's where most people struggle the most is backing these things up. You're in a 70-foot long vehicle. It's not easy. That back end of that trailer is a long, long way away. It can be difficult to see exactly what it's doing. So getting a feel for that takes time. Getting a feel for, like, even doing logs. The way Schneider, the whole time you're in training, they have you do paper logs. Because they want you to know how to do paper logs, because even though they're electronic logs now in the truck and the day-to-day is being managed by electronic logs, just like any other electronic device, they can go out. And if they go out, then what? You still have to file a log. So you have to have paper logs with you on the truck, and you have to know how to fill them out. Because just because your equipment craps out doesn't take away your obligation to file a log. And if you don't, you're in some serious trouble. The fines are enormous. So yeah, just doing logs. It's a very, very unusual, very cool, and it makes a lot of sense. But at first, you look at it and you're scratching your head, going, "What?" It's like it's completely bewildering at first. But once you start looking at the logic in it, it's pretty cool, actually. It becomes easier. So yeah, they're teaching us all of that. Most of the days were spent in combination of being in the classroom and having different department people coming in and talking to us and giving us a little presentation, maintenance and stuff like that. They come in and they let you know kind of how things work. And then there's a whole lot of computer-based training. a lot of videos, a whole lot of videos, a boat ton of videos that you have to watch, which all have quizzes and little tests. They also have two simulators, which are really cool. They're big full-size simulators where you sit in there and you've got a gigantic screen in front of you and screens on the side of you, kind of like an airplane simulator. And they run you through all sorts of different scenarios of, people walking out on the road, or a deer jumping out in front of you, or, you're driving along on a sunny day and all of a sudden it starts pissing rain and you can't see, and then there's fog, and they drive you into a snowstorm to show you how the trailer can slip out and how it feels to lose traction, and just every possible scenario they kind of throw at you in the simulator, and it's really cool. It's surprisingly lifelike. Unfortunately, it also is known to make certain people motion sick for some reason, more so than actually being in the vehicle. Being in the vehicle doesn't bother people, but actually being in that simulator can really make people sick. Something about it, I don't know. Lucky me, I happen to be one of them. So I was in there for about 45 minutes or so, running all these different scenarios, and all of a sudden I was in the middle of one and I was taking a turn, and I had to get up, and I told my trainer, I'm like, okay, I got to step out of here. I need some air because I'm not feeling great. And they're like, yeah, okay, no, it hits people, so no worries. And that was the end of my simulator. I didn't go back in there. That was enough for me. It took me a good hour to get my stomach back. So yeah, so weird. I survived the Navy, never got sick in the Navy, even in the hardest seas. I don't get motion sick. I just don't. But that simulator, it got me. So that was kind of funny. Yeah, what else? We did a lot of stuff on the yard, on the training yard. Most of that is, coupling and uncoupling the trailers, doing pre-trip inspections, post-trip inspections, trailer inspections, knowing how to do all of that the way Schneider wants it. A lot of backing, a lot of trying to back into tight spaces and, close quarter maneuvering. So that's been really cool. Our instructor, I won't name her name because I don't have her permission, but she's a woman, and we go in, it's her, myself, and another guy in the class, so two of us students and her so far have been together in her truck. And she'll take us out, and we'll go. Sometimes we just go for a little bit, where each of us students can drive for half hour, an hour, or something like that. And sometimes we go longer. It really just depends on what their schedule is. And we students, we never know really what the schedule is. They just kind of you just go where you're told. They've got it down to a science. So it's like it's not even worth asking. Just go where where they point you next. But some of that was really cool, driving the truck around Gary, Indiana, and she was taking us through like all these like neighborhoods, industrial neighborhoods where the steel mills and the steel factories were and still are, and the airport, and just all of these different roads, practicing really, really tight right-hand turns, the type of turns where if you don't do a button hook, you will never make it. So we're learning how to do button hook turns, even though state of Illinois, the CDL test, they kept going on and on about don't do button hooks. Well, now that you have the CDL, now it's the real world. In the real world, button hooks are necessary. For those of you who don't know what a button hook is, it's whenever you see a truck trying to make a right turn into a very, very tight street where they don't have enough room to swing their trailer in without taking out the light post on the corner. So what they do is they drive up and they move very wide left right at the last minute. They move very wide left to make a big arcing turn, and then they pull it back in tight to continue on down that road. And what that does is pull your trailer around so that your trailer wheels won't go up on the curb. And they're the kind of turns that, for the people sitting here, as you're coming right at their nose. It kind of scares them a little bit sometimes, but you basically just brush by their nose and squeak on by. So it's a very tricky maneuver. It's something that you really have to be careful doing, and you have to really pay attention to where those cars are that are on your right side in that lane, where they parked. If somebody pulled up beyond the white line, chances are you're not going to make the turn. You're going to take their front end off. So you just have to wait and let them go, and then attempt it with the next light duration. But yeah, so we did a whole bunch of that in Gary, and just a lot of driving, a lot of maneuvering, a lot of getting used to things. It's been really cool. So week 1 is done, and tomorrow morning, bright and early, 6:30, starts week 2, and so far so good. I've settled in here. This little hotel room is my home. Quite comfortable, and yeah, I can't say enough about Schneider. So far, they've been really fantastic. Very professional. All of the trainers, because there's several of them, and all of them are just wonderful people. They're all very seasoned professionals. They've got good senses of humor. They're just good people. And since we're at the operating center, Gary is a major operating center for Schneider. So all of us are seeing drivers coming and going constantly all day long, and really nice people. Even the drivers coming in, they say hello, and it's a really nice kind of a feel. So I'm digging that. So anyway, that's the update. Just wanted to check in, and on to week 2. So I'll try, if I can, to do dailies if I can. I hope I can, but if not, bear with me. This is training, so this is trucking boot camp. So I'll check in and post stuff as I can. All right. So until next time, see ya.